later on if you want, and also because you're going to be doing some sacred soul alignments, and you're going to want to run them again and again just because they're awesome. And every time that you run the sacred soul alignments, they're dual in their effect. They're healing and they're activating at the same time. So you can't OD on those sacred soul alignments we're going to be doing. So we do have one other lady joining us today, and hopefully she will be here soon. I just sent you an email a couple minutes ago. Did you happen to
did you? No, I didn't.
It's okay. It's just a PDF to follow along with the 100 intention statements that we're going to go through today to help us kind of clarify where we're triggered and where specifically we're triggered and how deep that trigger goes and all that kind of good stuff.
Do you need me to go get it? It's on my phone. Do you want me to go get it?
You can, because we're still waiting for Tammy to show up, so might as well.
I got it.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to try to contact Tammy real quick and let her know that we're live.
Yep, no problem.
But I don't like dead air. So if she doesn't show up soon, we're just going to dive right in.
That's okay. I run groups too, and then people are usually late. There's early people, there's late people. So
that's right. And I'm right in the middle of all of that, so I have a lot of forgiveness for everybody.
I'm like the can't be late person. I'm like, I have to be punctual, like 5 minutes early, and just like wait for you to come on here because I don't like that. Like I even picked up my daughter 10 minutes early from dance. I'm like, I gotta go, be home by 6 o'clock. We have to go.
So is this a good time for you? 6 o'clock?
Yeah, that's fine.
It is good. Okay.
Only just
we can always tweak it next week if it needs to be fixed at all. Because it's 3 o'clock for me, so this is kind of like the middle of my day, really.
Yeah.
So, so did you get the previous email, not the one from today, but where I asked you to kind of, go into the energy of what it is that you want right now, and what is it exactly that you feel is keeping you from having it?
Yep. Yeah, I got that.
So go ahead and share with me.
What's like my beliefs that are holding me back?
So what is it that you want the most right now? Like, what is it that is just that thing that you feel the most passionate about, that you would like to create the most in your life right now, that you want to birth into being? And then, let's talk about that first, and then we'll talk about what it is that you think is keeping you from it.
It's mostly like belief in like the success of what I'm doing.
Okay.
And then also,
so your business in particular, we're talking about your business.
Yeah, and also like the money stuff.
Okay. So has it been that you have some months that are up and some months that are down?
Yep, I go first like busy, and then nothing, and then busy, and then nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So luckily I have courses that I teach that sort of offset that and go in between it.
Okay.
The events, it's all balanced out, but it could be.
So are you doing like some group workshops that are live and then you have passive income from other sources?
Yeah, so I do events. I have 2 groups that I do, 2 courses that I run, and then the readings on the side kind of thing. So.
Okay, I see. Oh, Tammy is joining us. Hi, Tammy. Can you hear us and see us?
Yes, hi.
Hi. Hello, lady.
We can't see her, but.
That's okay. We don't have to see you if you don't have your video on. That's okay. As long as we can hear you, that's cool.
Okay, everybody can hear me good?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to turn it on in a second. Yeah. Okay. I actually was trying to get on, but I was having Wi-Fi issues. The Wi-Fi was down in my neighborhood or wherever, and
You're
yeah.
not alone. I was having them too.
Yeah.
But
So I
you're
actually
here now.
try to, yeah.
That's okay.
So I'm here.
You didn't miss very much at all.
Good.
I did send you, Tammy, an email right before we got started here that has a download for what we're going to work on today. You can access that now while I'm discussing with Jen. Since Jen was here first, I'm just going to dive in and start with her. And then if you want to access that PDF, you don't need to, but it's nice to follow along with it. And then we will be talking to you in just a moment. So, okay, Jen, so we were talking about that when you have slow months, it's offset by, what were you saying?
My events, and I teach 2 courses.
Okay. And so when the inconsistencies come up with the money, what would you say is going on at the time? Would you say it's directly linked that with your energy, that your beliefs are just kind of sabotaging that? Your energy is sabotaging it? Okay. So what's going on? What are you thinking about?
I know how it all works, because I'll notice when I'm like in the flow and I'm like, my thoughts are awesome. Like, my thoughts are totally fine. I can totally control the way I think about money, but it's the subconscious stuff that I have trouble alleviating, like whatever the word is for that. But you can tell if I let something go, if I go, okay, I'm calling in 5 students to sign up, and I try not to think about it, and bam, I get 5 students.
Mm-hmm.
It's the letting go of it kind of thing, and the belief in myself. So I'm like, I believe in myself. I believe in right. And then I know that doesn't really help, but like, it's the thoughts, but it's the underlying stuff too, right? So
it does help because the energy is there, but you're right. There is that disconnect because even though the energy is there, you are still bringing forth a counter intention because of the belief that you're holding. And it may even be something that, yes, you are aware of to a certain degree, but you can't dig out that deeper foundational belief that's kind of feeding it. So that's exactly what we're getting at today.
That's what I need help with. That's why I'm here with you.
That is what we're doing. That's what we're all about. And you know what? The thing is, when I started doing this work for myself, and it's a little easier when you have 2 people because you can ask the questions and do the digging for that foundational belief a little bit easier when it's, you know, you and me working together. But you can do it on yourself, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do that as part of this workshop as well, because I do this stuff every single day. I start my day doing belief work, and it has changed the whole game of everything I'm doing in my life and my business. It has allowed me to bring in more clients to serve. It has allowed me to triple my income in 4 months. I mean, it's all about beliefs. You are what you believe. And it's the saddest thing to me when I see people who are capable of, you know, pulling in so much more of their abundance, and it's just like that one little belief. But it's a big one. It's a big one because it has this, you know, there's all these peripheral beliefs attached to it. But when you get rid of that foundational belief, there's no base for those to be built on anymore. So those, I think
that's what my struggle is. I know all this stuff.
Right.
Like, I get it. I totally get it. How do you like get right? Like, you just.
It's all about getting to that foundational belief, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do some digging. So yes, and this is going to be good for me to do because this is exactly where I was at a couple months ago, and I totally understand. I feel your pain, lady.
Okay, good.
I feel your pain.
All
so,
right.
Tammy, welcome, and we're going to talk about right off the bat, because I like to dive right in here. I'm all business. What is it that you want right now? Like that thing that like keeps you awake at night, that thing that you just feel so passionate about. You want to grow your business. You want more love in your life. It doesn't matter what it is. What is it that the thing that you want to work on the most in this workshop today?
Okay. So the thing that attracted me to this workshop was the fact that when you were talking about the mindset and the beliefs, because I want to grow my business, which is so weird. The business actually kind of found me because what I started on the journey was doing Reiki, which I really, really enjoy. But I felt like I needed to do something different with it. You know, I didn't just want to do just energy healings. I wanted to make sure that people, especially women, you know, I have a passion for women, and my passion is for women to be able to grow and recover from, long-term relationships, that died and things like that. And so I wanted to use the energy healing and the things that we learned in that in order to help these women, and other things as well too, the programs that I want to create. And so I think if there's some type of block or something for me to be able to move, I don't know, it's hard to really say, to get past whatever mindset things I had, and I know that some of them were, getting past, because I navigated it through when I was doing the Reiki class, because I finished, thank God. And I navigated through some of that, and it was old religious beliefs, because you were talking about being a recovering Catholic, and I'm a recovering Pentecostal holiness girl. So, everything with that was the devil. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I've navigated through it, and although I call myself a Christian, I believe in God, I don't subscribe to some of those limiting beliefs that they had when I was growing up. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I do know that probably there are some that are in there and just, got to get past.
So what I'm picking up, okay, I'm listening to what you're saying, but the way I work is I kind of read between the lines in terms of your energy. And what I'm really picking up from you, Tammy, is that this feeling that to go further with this kind of work is for you to be punished a little bit by God, because there's a little bit of that feeling like it is the devil, even though you don't really take that on I'm not getting that you take that on as a conscious.
Right.
Not intellectually, you understand that that's just not the case.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that we don't take some of that cellular programming on from, our peers, from our parents, from, the religious dogmas that we grew up with. It doesn't mean that it isn't rolling around in there somewhere. And it's part of your programming. Like if you remember when I did the live, how I was talking about in my work, I felt like if I was going to make money doing this work, that I was going to be punished by God for doing it. That was something that I held. I didn't think I held that belief. But when I started doing this digging and really got to the core of why I wasn't making money in my business, it was because I felt like being spiritual and being wealthy were two diametrically opposed things, and I wasn't supposed to be making money healing people, that there was something inherently wrong with that. I know that's bullshit, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't dictating some things what I was believing, right?
And intellectually, you're right. We know it's bullshit, because right. I went to a prosperity church and all this kind of stuff later, and I know that God intends for us to be wealthy, and he even said it in his word, he wants us to prosper even as our soul prospers. But just like you said, somewhere in there, and I also believe that some things in my past life also inhibit me, because I've done a few just readings, not anything deep and not any regression work, but I've done a few readings, and I know that in one of my past lives, maybe more than one, I don't know, I was like a healer, just as I am now, and a teacher, and also just like you said, for me, I can see that in anybody else I talk to. Mm-hmm. It's like it's so clear, and I can see it, but it's like for me, it's like, what the hell,
Well, and the thing is, I've been doing this work for 15 years, and I've worked with a lot of people who are healers like I am, and pretty much, about 99.7% of the time, healers have had past trauma of being persecuted in past lives for being a healer, being cast out of their community, which was their only means of support, for believing something different than the other healers felt or believed. And so we were cast out, and that level of that fear that's still in our programming, and it's still in that past life programming of who we are, still plays out if we don't clear that energy in this lifetime, that fear of persecution. We've taken vows of poverty as healers. We've taken vows of self-denial, because we were, frankly, in the times that we were healers before, we were living in a place where the whole community supported us. We didn't have to worry about food, lodging, paying the bills. None of that was present. All our needs were met simply because our role was to have one purpose, and that was to be the healer in the community. And so now we feel here in this lifetime, we have all of these commitments. We have to pay bills. We have to support our family. We have to support ourselves. We have to support our business by investing in it over and over again. And there's something paralyzing in our energy about being able to do that. There's still this disconnect because we haven't cleared that energy from before. Now, I want to say something about past lives, and I don't work in the Akashic Records. I will by default sometimes. I will a little bit today, but that's not exclusively what I do. It's just on one of the belief levels where we hold things, I clear some energy there.
Okay.
But I don't dwell on the past lives too much, and here's why. Because we are not creating in the past. We are creating in the now. So the only concern we have about the past lives, and it can be very seductive to look at our past lives and be like, oh, that was interesting, or I did that, and that's kind of cool, and we can learn things from it. But we don't want to spend too much time there. Because the lives that we're here to create, they happen in the now. They happen in the present moment. And so we just need to clear all the energy and all the spiritual debris from the past. We don't want to spend too much time there or get seduced by it too much, because that's easy to do. We just want to clear the energy so that we can create in the now, because that's what this is all about.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so, and I've done lots of Akashic Records readings, and I love, there's a absolutely brilliant lady, Patrice Hutton-Jones, who I've had a lot of Akashic Records readings with, and she's amazing. But I do the work I need to do, and then I move on. So we will do some clearing on that history level. So in this workshop, we clear on 4 levels here, okay? So there's that core belief level, where you are nurtured into believing certain things. You grew up with these beliefs. They were instilled in you by your parents, your peers, society, okay? So that's your core belief level. And we actually hold all of that information in a physical space. And when I actually see this being cleared from you, I see it being pulled from your brow. And we send it up to God's light and let it be cleansed. There's another place in the belief level that we clear, which is from, I actually see it moving out from the pineal gland. This is our genetic level. This is our cellular programming where we hold beliefs in our very own DNA. When we clear on that level, we're clearing not only this lifetime, but through the ancestral karma as well. And then there is the history level, which is where we believe things that we've taken on from past lives, not only past lives on this level, but also in the collective consciousness. A money belief that's in the collective consciousness is that money doesn't grow on trees, That's just something we've just embraced. We don't necessarily believe that that's true. Maybe money does grow on trees, but everybody believes that, so we believe it. So we clear things on that level too. And then there's the soul level, which is the deepest level that we hold things to be truths that really no one can talk us out of. We hold it in our, every of those areas that I've talked about, we hold it on all those levels, and then we hold it in totality of who we are. This is a profound belief, and this is where some of the deeper foundational beliefs that we can probably get to today, we'll get to probably more than one, I'm guessing, with what both of you have told me. But this is where, when we clear that foundational belief, all those other peripheral beliefs that we're holding that are attached to that validate that foundational belief, those just topple. It's like a game of Jenga. Like if you were to pull out the wood block game, you pull out the bottom block, all the other ones topple, right? It's the same way with our beliefs. But the serious part of this workshop and the most beneficial part of it is digging. It's digging and finding that foundational belief.
Okay.
And here's how we know we are getting to that foundational belief. So the digging basically is, you tell me why it is you can't have what you want right now. And these are all, when I ask you these questions, you come up with that surface level, answer. It's not that I want you to sit and stew about it and think about it, because that's the answer that's going to come right from your subconscious, that immediate answer, okay? And then I'm going to keep asking you why, and I'm going to keep asking you what, where, and how. And we dig and we dig. And when you start to squirm a little bit, you start to get uncomfortable. Maybe you might start to get a little bit defensive. Maybe you might start to get a little teary or upset, or feel your body start to shake. That's how we know we are getting to that subconscious foundational belief. It's a little uncomfortable, but I always tell people when they get a little freaked out, and you know what, when I was explaining this to the other 2 women who were going to be in this course today, this was what the deal breaker was for them, because they didn't want to work on this level. And I asked my clients very, very point blank, I'm very blunt. What is more painful, 10 minutes of digging to this foundational belief that you can then clear and be done with it. Or a lifetime of being a slave to this belief over and over and over again, and playing out the same old tired themes, the same old paradigms over and over and over and over again, which is more painful. But I respect that free will choice. If you're not ready to do this work, if you're not ready to deal with a little bit of pain, I totally get it. I totally get it. You know, I will never, force anybody to do this kind of work if they're not ready to do it. And so the other two women that were going to be in the course, they didn't want to do it. They backed out at the last minute. I totally respect that, because when they're ready to do the work, hey, they know what I do. I'm here. But I applaud you both for wanting to do this work, because yes, it's a little bit gnarly to look at our stuff. It's a little bit painful to look at all of our shit, but you know what? The sooner you clear that baggage, everything just opens up. Everything opens up. It's like taking a breath of fresh air and taking literally a physical burden off your shoulders, because you don't need to carry that anymore. You don't need to wear this mantle of, burden and grief and sorrow and all those other things that are associated with having limited beliefs. Frankly, ladies, we don't have time for that anymore.
No.
We're being called to step up and do so many great things. Jen, you're being called to go into an even deeper level of what you're doing. You want to work from a greater spiritual foundation. You want to be a bigger vessel to your clients. And when you're able to do that, you just naturally make more money. Tammy, you want to be able to offer more profound transformation for the women that you work with. And you want to feel like it's okay, and God gives me the okay to do that. And I'm not stepping into God's shoes when I do it. I'm simply his servant or her servant, right? And you want to feel okay about doing that. And when you feel not only okay, but when you feel empowered about doing that, oh my God, the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit, But we can hold these very limiting beliefs about why we can't have that, why we can't be that, why we can't do that. And it's all bullshit. It's all ego programming. That's all it is. It's just a program. So when we pull these beliefs, we're pulling the program, and then we're replacing it. That's the biggest part of this, is that we're replacing the beliefs. And we're replacing these beliefs so that they align with what it is exactly, with what you want to birth into the world, with what you want to create. Because when you're in alignment, everything just falls into place. It becomes easy. Manifesting becomes easy. Living your life becomes easy. Creating new programs and being inspired to offer new things all the time to your clients becomes easy. That's what we're after here today. Does that sound pretty good?
Yes, ma'am. That's
why okay. Then let's get into it. Let me pull up my intention statements. So we'll start by making sure that you know the actual feelings that you're trying to create. And what that means is, if you want to clear a belief and you want to get rid of a certain programming, say you've been, living in a program of lack and scarcity, we want to make sure that you know what it feels like, that what we're doing is actually downloading Creator's definition of what certain emotions feel like. For instance, one of the intention statements is, I know what true joy feels like. I've been doing this work for, 15 years now, and I've encountered so many people who do not know what true joy feels like. But we can download Creator's definition of what that feels like, so that when we replace the programs today with more affirming programs, you already know those feelings, so the belief can take hold. If we don't have the experience of the feeling, those beliefs can't take hold. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it doesn't mean we have to have a lifetime of this experience of what joy feels like. We can download Creator's definition in a second. And that's why when I do this work, we work from the 7th plane. So I'm going to connect you guys to the 7th plane of existence. That is the realm of all that is. That's the realm of creation. And when we work with this level, and we work on this level, especially doing energy healing, we are in a place of zero resistance. So that the work that we're doing, we don't have to fight through any layers of ego stuff. The ego just kind of falls away when we're working on this level. And so that's where the profound transformation takes place. So
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
This realm is all definitely 100% love and light stuff.
Because it's nothing but. This is the realm of complete and total universal love. There is nothing higher than this vibration. The level of the 7th plane is the level of creation and all that is. It's the all-encompassing bright white sparkly light. Everything gets created at this level, and the only thing that can exist at this level is love and light. I never work with anything that is dark. I never work with any low vibration energy. When I start working with you guys, in fact, before you were invited to the Zoom today, I do a sacred space clearing, and I call in all of your guides and angels to be here, as well as my own, all of my ascended masters and whoever I work with in the spiritual realms. And this is a completely safe space full of love and light and nothing else.
The only reason I asked, I normally wouldn't ask because I know it's a good thing. I just had a clearing done and I was full of stuff, like so bad, right? And I was deathly ill and bad. I just want to make sure that I got my crystals here. I'm like, oh my God, don't not like, I'm so terrified of something negative. Again,
it's a totally valid question. And another thing that we're going to be doing today, as far as the, as well as doing the belief clearing, we are doing sacred soul alignments. These are energies that come in from source, from creation, brought in by your archangels, guardian angels, beings of light. Only beings of 100% pure light bring these energies through. And it's called a cleanse and protect. This is one of the most powerful, and it's also activated with the sacred amulet, which is something that clears entities, it clears waywards, it clears walk-ins, it clears your space around your home, your family, your pets, your vehicles, a mile deep in all directions, going into the earth and above and around. It is the most powerful clearing and cleansing and protection that I have ever experienced. Awesome. And when you hear me read through the script, because the first time I give anyone a cleanse and protect, I read through the script so you can understand how in-depth this clearing and protection goes. And also, this is something you can, once you've been attuned to this, activate it wherever you are. Whenever you are in a space where you feel like, okay, this is not a place of 100% pure light, you can just say cleanse and protect with the sacred amulet, activate. And there it is, boom. And you will feel it. I use it all the time. I was just using it when I was up in Tahoe because I was in a house that needed it. And I felt the energy change immediately. It's very powerful. And I'll be giving you guys the script as a PDF download so you can have it and use it. But like I said, after you're attuned to this today, you can activate it anytime you need to, okay? Awesome. I'm all about clearing. I'm all about clearing. Okay, so what was I talking about? The intention statements. So yes, it's important that when we replace the belief, when we do the belief upgrades, right, because this is the belief upgrade bootcamp, when we do this upgrade, that the belief program you're trying to instill, you already know what those feelings feel like. They can be downloaded, the feeling of that, in a second. And that's what we do when we bring in the intention statements. So if you guys have that with you and you want to follow along, please feel free to do so if you want. I'm going to pull mine up here. And I'm going to begin our work together by getting us connected to the 7th plane. This is just a very, very peaceful place to be. And like I said, this is a place of zero resistance. So the work that we do today takes hold, okay, without any resistance. So if you guys want to get water or use the restroom or anything else before we begin, that's totally fine because we're going to be a few minutes here. Okay. And I do recommend, after we finish up today, lots and lots of water. You are going to be purging a lot, okay? That's a guarantee. So water is your friend. Are we ready? Mm-hmm. All right. So just get yourself comfortable. Doesn't matter if you're seated, lying down, on the floor, on a chair, on a bed, it doesn't matter at all. However you are comfortable is perfect and right for you. And when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath in again of appreciation for giving yourself this time to do this great work of clearing and healing. This is a gift of self-love to do this work. And take another deep breath in and bring your focus and attention to your heart center. And take this energy down, all the way down through your body, through the legs, out through the feet, and activating the roots in the feet. And allow these roots to grow deep down into the earth, all the way down through dirt and rock and crystal, and connecting with the heart center of Mother Earth. And here you'll either see, feel, or imagine a warm golden light. And go into the center of that light and connect with the infinite love, light, support, abundance, knowledge, and wisdom that billions of years of the earth holds. And now gather this energy and bring it back up, all the way up through the earth and back through the legs, back into the heart center. And expanding this love and light into every cell of your body. Expanding out 360 degrees outside the body, expanding out and merging into the chair, the couch, the bed, or the floor that you're on. And expanding out in love and light, further and faster, all the way out past the room you're in, out further and faster past the building you're in, past the town you're in, past the state or province you're in, out past the country you're in, expanding out further and faster past the planet, expanding all the way out past the universe, past the golden lights, past the white lights, past the dark lights, past the jelly-like substance that is the laws of the sixth plane with the rainbow bands of colors, out past the pink mist of compassion at the border of the seventh plane, and all the way out to the bright white sparkly light of the seventh plane of existence. And here imagine your cells merging and becoming one with all that is. And from this expanded place, I'm going to be reading to you from this list of 100 intention statements. And if you don't want to follow along with your eyes open, that's fine. You can just listen to the sound of my voice, but make a mental note of anywhere when I read one of these statements where you feel triggered or where you feel a clenching, contracted feeling when you hear this statement, or likewise when you hear an expansive, open feeling when you hear this statement. And just kind of make a mental note of that. And here we go. I know what true joy feels like. I know what trust feels like, and I know who is trustworthy. I know what it feels like to be trustworthy and to be trusted. I know what it feels like to love myself. I know what it feels like to be loved unconditionally. I know what it feels like to love unconditionally. I know what it feels like to be nurtured. I know what it feels like to give nurturing. I know what hope feels like. I know what it feels like to know my heart and to know my desires. I know what it feels like to be healed. I know what it feels like to accept a healing and give it and keep it without giving any of it away. I know what it feels like to be perfectly healthy and pain-free. I know what it feels like to be at home in my body and on this planet. I know how to stay in my body. I know how to love and accept my body. I know how to cherish my body. I know how to be completely healthy on all levels, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. I know what it feels like to live without resentment. I know what it feels like to live without regret. I know what it feels like to release guilt and shame and to live without guilt and shame. I know what it feels like to live without holding on to anger. I know what it feels like to live without creating problems in my life. I know what it feels like to live without suffering. I know what it feels like to live without struggle. I know what it feels like to live without punishing myself and others. I know what it feels like to live without being deprived. I know what it feels like to live without being a victim. I know what it feels like to live without being a martyr. I know what it feels like to live without anxiety. I know what it feels like to live without depression, despair, and grief. I know what it feels like to let go of old trauma. I know what it feels like to know I am always safe, cared for, and protected. I know what it feels like to take care of myself. I know what it feels like to be my highest and best self. I know what it feels like to have a true friend. I know what it feels like to be in my power. I know what freedom feels like. I know what it feels like to have and keep healthy boundaries. I know what it feels like to say no in a healthy way. I know what it feels like to hear no from others without being hurt or upset. I know how to live as an independent adult. I know what it feels like to be successful. I know what it feels like to be responsible with my finances. I know what it feels like to learn my lessons with joy, peace, and happiness. I know what it feels like to let go of what is not in my highest and best good. I know what it feels like to be connected to God, Creator, Source at all times. I know what it feels like to be connected to Mother Earth at all times. I know what it feels like to be free of negative energies, attachments, and entities. I know what it feels like to live with passion. I know what it feels like to reach my highest potential in this life. I know what it feels like to understand my purpose. I know what it feels like to take inspired action. I know what it feels like to plan and follow through with my plans. I know what it feels like to understand divine timing. I know what it feels like to use my gifts and abilities for the highest and best good. I know what it feels like to have a clear mind. I know what it feels like to receive answers. I know what it feels like to respect myself and what it feels like to be respected. I know what it feels like to respect those around me, even when they are different from me. I know what it feels like to understand those around me, even when they are different from me. I know what it feels like to meet every challenge in the highest and best way. I know what it feels like to know there is a solution for every problem. I know what it feels like to enjoy life. I know what it feels like to be happy. I know what it feels like to be in control of my thoughts and emotions. I know what it feels like to be appreciated, to appreciate others, and to appreciate life. I know what it feels like to live without boredom. I know what it feels like to live without allowing others to hurt or take advantage of me. I know what it feels like to live without taking on the emotions, pain, illness, or entities of others. I know what it feels like to live without debt, emotional, spiritual, or financial. I know what it feels like to know the difference between my thoughts and emotions and someone else's. I know what it feels like to have true intimacy. I know what it feels like to live without chaos, to live without pain. I know what it feels like to integrate a healing or spiritual upgrade easily and gracefully. I know what it feels like to live without abandonment. Oh, I lost my place. I know what it feels like to always be in integrity. I know what it feels like to be ethical. I know what it feels like to be authentic in all I do and say. I know what it feels like to have a healthy immune system. I know what it feels like to believe in myself. I know what it feels like to be merciful and to understand God's definition of mercy. I know what it feels like to be supported. I know what it feels like to give support. I know what it feels like to have enough and more of everything I need. I know what it feels like to learn easily and effortlessly. I know what a mother's love feels like. I know what God's love feels like. I know what a father's love feels like. I know what it feels like to love myself. I know how to stand in my truth. I know what it feels like to hear, recognize, and understand truth. I know what it feels like to be seen, heard, known, and understood. I know what it feels like to live without being exhausted. I know what it feels like to trust myself. I understand what it feels like to express myself. I know what it feels like to know I am worthy. I know what it feels like to live without being responsible for everyone else.
Wow.
I know what it feels like to live without needing to figure everything out. Whew, okay, so Creator, it is commanded to clear these triggers to any of these intention statements for Terry Morrison and for Jen Abra. Any of these feelings, emotions, or traumatic events from this client anytime they've ever lived this way or felt this way or believed this way in any lifetime or timeline across all time, all directions of time and in between time, from all timelines, dimensions, and realities. Clear any of these triggers to any of these intention statements from the DNA and the ancestry. Resolve all oaths, vows, and soul contracts, agreements to live this way or believe this way, to pull all curses to live this way or believe this way, to mark all lessons downloaded and complete and resolved now, pull all trapped emotions surrounding these beliefs and triggers from these intention statements or experiences from all lifetimes and timelines and from the DNA. Creator, pull, cancel, delete, and resolve on all belief levels the experience from all timelines and resolving on all levels. Rewire the brain, heart, the DNA, the cells inside cellular memory, the nervous system, the limbic system, the chakras and energy bodies, and from the Akashic records and Creator's unconditional love in a way this is in their highest and best good and the highest and best good of all humanity, easily and with love and joy and grace. Creator, change it, and so it is. Thank you. So, ladies, I want you to share with me, what were your triggers on those? Because that'll help us get to some deeper foundational beliefs. So, Temi, why don't we start with you?
Okay.
What were your biggest triggers on that?
I know what trust feels like. I know who's trustworthy. I know what it feels like to be perfectly healthy and pain-free. And I know what it feels like to live without anxiety, depression, despair, grief, letting go of old trauma, to know that I'm safe, cared for, and protected. What it feels like to reach, my highest potential in this life. To understand my purpose, take inspired action, plan and follow through with my plans. What it feels like to, without taking on the emotions, pain, illness, and entities of others. Live life without debt, all those ways, emotional, spiritual, financial.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big trigger for a lot of us, especially those of us who are called to do healing.
Yes.
Please keep going.
What it feels like to have enough and more of everything I need. Feels like to live without being responsible for everyone else. And what it feels like to live without needing to figure everything out. So you put the trust myself in there, and I wrote that down, and that, yeah. Yes.
So when you have that feeling of not being able to trust, when you are talking about creating a vessel for delivering healing, not necessarily Reiki, but building more on that healing foundation of Reiki. Obviously, you know, Reiki was that introduction for you to do greater healing work, as I feel you're very called to do. And so do you trust that God will support you on this path? Do you trust that you will be supported financially, spiritually, emotionally, if you are to pursue this? And obviously you are involved in a different business now. Yes, this is not your singular focus at this point.
No, to be perfectly honest, no, I'm not actually sure what the direction is, because I know that, you know, I know that healing is in me, and I know that, and I've known it forever. You know, I was 3 years old and they wouldn't have me praying for people, you know. So I've known that, and to be honest, I think I ran from it, because my grandmother was pastor, preacher, teacher, evangelist, all this, and I just was like, no, I don't want to do that. You know, I saw how people pulled on her, and, you know, and it was just, to me, it was too much. But I still inside knew that I'm called in that area, you know, not particularly that way. And then when I began to see this journey, it was like, oh my God, where am I at, you know, in one way. And then the other way, it's like, this is what I was born to do, you know. So I'm not sure quite the direction. I know that I have to help women in that area because of what I've gone through in my own life, and because I know that as I talk to women, so many of them that just, they're hurting, and they have, you know, they don't think that anybody else has been there, and they, you know, they don't know how to navigate, and they end up, so many women I've met and talked to, and they talk to me all the time, like in the store and anywhere, and they don't know how to open up their heart. And I know that, you know, it was a process, and me digging through the process and actually putting it down so that I can, you know, help these women is also helping me.
Yes, always. That's always the way it happens. But
Right.
there is a right now in your energy, I can pull something from you, because you need to pull your ancestry's definition of healing. Okay. You need to pull, well, we're going to do this together with Creator, your ancestry's definition of what it means to heal and to be spiritual. Because okay. There is so much of your energy tied into the identity of your ancestry's definition of what it means to be spiritual and to heal, that there's only one way to do it. That is never the case. Okay. There are spontaneous healings that take place all the time, and they can come in any number of ways, from any number of means of inspiration, and they can come delivered through your guides, your angels, whoever works with you on the other side. And you have a lot of people on the other side that you need to know this right now, because I'm being told to tell you this right now, that you have a big spiritual team around you, and they are constantly giving you these little nudges, okay? And pulling this belief of what your ancestors' definition of healing and spiritualism is going to open up a lot more of your intuition, so that you're going to be able to actually get these nudges a little more clearly, so that you'll be able to hear your guidance. I'm getting that you're going to be able to hear it a lot more, and you're going to be able to claircognizantly just know it, just know the guidance. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull that right now, and then we're going to dig into that a little bit. So just take a deep breath. That's all you need to do. And I'm just going to clear that. I'm going to ground your energy into the earth chakra a little bit because, you know, we're doing some spiritual work here, but everything that we're doing, we need to ground it into our physical body so that our bodies can know what we're doing, so that our bodies can expand right along with our spiritual awareness. So I'm going to ground you into the earth. I'm just going to kind of take your energy down. So take your energy in your heart space and just kind of gently guide it down through the body and through the legs and out through the feet. And go about 12 to 18 inches below your feet. There's a chakra there. It's called the Earth Star Chakra. And this is your connection with Mother Earth. This is where you can ground all of your spiritual energy that's flooding your awareness and will continue to. But it'll put it in your body so that you can use it while you're here in physical form. Okay? So just kind of imagine like I like to have people imagine a rock, a crystal of black obsidian, which holds a lot of earth energy in it. So just imagine that, like 12 to 18 inches below your feet and literally in the earth. And that the energy body around you is just kind of expanding into that spot. And that's kind of grounding your energy as I'm going to pull this in. Creator is commanded to clear and pull Tammy's ancestries, her ancestral karma's definition of healing and what it means to be a healer and to be spiritual. Clear this anytime she's ever lived this way, any of her ancestors have ever lived this way. Clear it from her ancestral karma 7 generations backward and forwards in time, and clear it on all the belief levels anywhere she has ever believed this way, lived her life this way, felt this way, known this way. Never been allowed to experience any other way. Creator, show me this being pulled on all levels. Thank you. And send up to God's light to be cleansed. Creator, it is commanded to download and replace the belief program with it is safe for Tammy to create her own definition of healing, to create her own definition of spiritualism. Creator, change it, and so it is. So let me ask you, Tammy, what do you think, where do you feel limited in pulling in your own definition of what it means to heal? Do you feel like, and just be honest here, the quicker the answer, the more it comes from the subconscious level, which is where we want to clear. Does it feel unsafe for you to express yourself in a way where you are doing the healing work with women that you want to do? Does it feel unsafe? Does it feel wrong?
No, not so much.
Okay.
So much.
When you think of having this business where you are doing healing work exclusively, what does that make you feel? Does that make you feel expansive in your energy, or does it make you feel contracted? You may feel it like a contracting in the heart, if it feels contracted, or in the belly.
No, it feels like if I do that, I'm free.
Okay, awesome. Okay, cool. Then we're getting to another area here. So I know that that's not your limitation. Do you feel like you'll have the support of your family if you do this work?
Some, not all.
Okay. Even if they don't support it, or even if they don't understand it, do you feel they will support you? Like you do what, we understand that you want to do what makes you happy, and we support that. We don't need to know what it is. We don't need to have it explained to us, but we support you. Do you feel like that would be true?
I feel like that of my husband, and now my mother, actually.
Okay. All right. With your vision about what this is, why do you think you don't have clarity on what it is just yet?
I'm not sure. I think probably because of these blockages that we're dealing with now. Mm-hmm. Because I think basically, yeah, the same thing that you said about the ancestral thing with the, you know, the definition of healing, and that even though I've been through a spontaneous healing myself, mm-hmm. like when I was in my 20s, mm-hmm. and the doctor couldn't even explain it. He didn't know what happened. Okay. I knew because I experienced my angels. around my bed in the hospital. I saw them, 4 of them.
That's beautiful.
It was the most amazing thing, and I was 22 years old. It was the most amazing thing, and I didn't hardly tell anybody, because I was like, I don't even know if this was real, And I think also, too, because I experienced things, even now as my intuition has, like, blown up on me, I'm experiencing things like I hear people talking to me and, but I don't always understand what they're saying. And at first I was afraid of it because I didn't know, I really wasn't sure. But the more I've started studying, then I realized that I've kind of always been there, because I used to be able to see, I would see dead people, but not as okay, let me explain it. I would see them, I would see somebody and it's like immediately I would know that they were going to die. And I would have a vision of them in the casket, and it would be exactly like they were when they laid them out. Like same suit, clothes, everything. And that was really very weird for me, especially as a young person.
Of course.
Yeah. So
especially if you don't know if there's anyone else around you who's seeing the same things that you are, and it could be very, very jarring, right?
Exactly. So I think that the sum total of some of those experiences that I've had kind of had me a little, I'm not so sure.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So I want to get back to the trust then.
Okay.
Because that's one of the first things that triggered you on the intention statements. So where do you not trust yourself? Do you not trust what you see or hear when these transmissions come through?
I do so now.
Okay.
I think I don't trust, really the trust factor is people.
Okay. Why don't you trust people?
Because it seems like all my life, most of them have not been trustworthy.
Okay.
They say one thing and don't follow it up, and from, a youngster. I mean,
who let you down? Who has let you down in the way that still you remember it in the most painful way? Who comes to mind right away?
My mother.
Okay. How did she let you down?
Because she would say things and just not follow through.
Okay.
She would not. You know how you tell a child, okay, I'm going to take you to the fair. Just an example. I'm going to take you to the fair. We're going to go to the fair. The fair's coming in town. We're going to go to the fair, blah, 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 blah. The fair comes and goes. You don't get to go. And then she just wouldn't even say anything about it, as if, I don't know, you just blow it out.
What promise did she make to you that hurt the most?
Honestly, when I got ready to have my first baby, and she promised me to come and visit me when I got ready to have the baby. She said, I'm going to come and I'll be there, blah, 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 blah. She didn't do it. And I think that I felt like she was angry, with me because she didn't come. And at that time, she didn't even explain it. She didn't say, this happened, whatever. It was kind of like, I just didn't make it, and you just get over it. You know what I mean?
So she didn't apologize or explain?
No, not until years later. I mean, we actually hashed this thing out. When I just went to her and I said, listen, she said, what's going on? I said, well, this is what you did. You didn't even say, hey, to me, it was like, I don't even give a fuck about you. That's kind of in my mind. And of course it wasn't that way, but when people don't explain it, then you have free reign to think what you want.
Sure. Have you forgiven her for this?
I have. I have. It's like the relationship that we probably always should have had has come forth, but it was me. I started with, this process of trying to work on forgiveness, because I always knew that you should and you need to and all this, but it came full circle when I said, there's something wrong with this relationship. My mom is still alive. I have friends that their moms are dead. So I thought, my mom's alive. I need to fix this thing. So I started working on it, and then she started working on it, and we've come together with that, but after her, my first husband, oh my God. So it was like all the people that to me were majorly important in my life at that time were just like, I don't really give a fuck what you think. If I said that I'm going to do such a thing, but it doesn't really mean that I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of set the stage, and I don't think I even really realized that was underneath,
Mm-hmm.
Because on the forefront, I'm like, no, I've let all that stuff go. I've forgiven it. But I think it was buried so deep that I didn't even realize. And what started bringing it up was all the meditations when I began to do the Reiki class.
Mm-hmm.
I started just like pulling shit up I didn't even know was still there.
Especially when you go through Reiki too, a
Yeah.
lot of that stuff comes up to the forefront, right?
It's deep.
Yeah. And so another thing that you said in the intention statements was that you want to be able to know that you can create a plan and follow through with your plans.
Yes.
So there's a little bit of trust that's attached to that, of trusting yourself to be able to do the work.
Yes.
So there is a lot of clearing around trust that we can do as a foundational clearing here, because it's not just this inability to trust others and believe that people are going to say that they're going to do, but there is a part of it where it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy if we don't even believe that we can do it ourselves, that we don't even trust in our own abilities and trust in our own say-so, that when we say we're going to do something, that we will follow through. And again, it's just an energy attachment of, if that's, for you, this is a core belief. I don't even have to have you do muscle testing to find out. This is a core belief. It's something you've been nurtured into. And so we're gonna clear that too, but we're going to clear it on all levels, okay? Anywhere that Tammy has not been able to feel trusting of others, to feel trustworthy of herself and her own abilities, anywhere she has not been able to trust her plans and following through with her plans, and trusting and following through with the plans of others, believing in the say-so of others, believing in the word of others, anywhere she has ever believed this way, lived this way, Creator, clear it on all levels now. Show me being sent to God's light now, please. Creator, change it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Creator is commanded to replace with the belief program, it is safe and right to trust myself. I want you to say that, Tammy. It is safe and right to trust myself.
It is safe and right to trust myself.
It is safe and right to trust others I love.
It is safe and right to trust others I love.
I trust in my ability to discern those who are not trustworthy.
I trust in my ability to discern others who are not trustworthy.
And to set boundaries to protect myself and cleanse my energy of that.
And to set boundaries to protect myself and cleanse my energy of them.
Creator, change it and place that belief program now. Thank you. All right. We're going to do an even deeper clearing because there's more there. But I want to move to Jen. All right, Jen. So where were your triggers on that?
I wrote them down. So the struggle, I know how to live without struggle. Depression and despair, I know how to let go of old trauma. I know how to be in my power. I know what it feels like to let go of what is not in the highest and best. I know what it feels like to control your thoughts and emotions, and the debt one.
And did you feel that in all of the spiritual, the emotional, and the financial debt?
No, just the financial debt.
Just the financial debt.
Yeah.
So you don't feel any, because sometimes we do feel spiritual debt, but if that doesn't resonate with you, then that's good. We don't.
No, just financial.
Yeah. Okay. Read me the first two again, please.
I know what it feels like to not struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it feels like to not feel depression or despair.
Mm-hmm. Where does the depression and the despair come in most for you? Where is it most noticeable in your life? What is happening when you feel those things?
My thoughts are off.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking about?
Things will never get better. I've always had this. I can't get over it. Things are low. This is just a low day, like that kind of stuff.
When you say, I've always had this, I've always had what?
Depression. On some level, not a big, well, I've had postpartum depression years and years and years ago, and that sort of sticks in my head as well, right?
Do you feel a need to carry on the depression because it was in your family?
No.
Okay. Do you feel a need to carry on the depression because you feel that it's important for you to overcome something? Like some of us feel, especially as healers, that it just can't be easy. It can't be easy to do what we do. We have to always overcome. There has to always be something that there's always a block that we have to put up so that we can say, yes, I'm victorious, I got over it. Do you feel that?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to clear that because I know that. I've had that for years. And everything can be going along just fine, and things are hunky-dory, but it's like, well, okay, wait a minute, that's way too good. This feels way too out of my comfort zone. I have to put something here in order for me to overcome. So I feel like I'm doing the work.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna clear that because that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, a lot of us as healers, this is like one of the biggest ones for us. That there's something in our energy that we need to be victorious. We need to feel like in order to shine with God's light, we need to be able to, you know, think of like Christianity. Christ was put on a cross so that he had to suffer so that we could all be full of light and love, you know. So if we grow up with this paradigm, even if we don't embrace it on an intellectual level, it's still like swimming around in our consciousness somewhere. And as healers, this does feed our energy. Good news is we can clear it. So I'm going to get in there and clear that right away. Let me have my... Okay. So Jen, I want you to anchor into the earth too, just like I had Tammy do. So you can imagine your earth star chakra any way you want. I like the black obsidian because not only does it purify a lot of negative energy, but it resonates with very, very strong energy of the magnetic core of Earth. So it really grounds this clearing into us on every level of our being and into every area of our life. And that's really what we want to do here. So just take your energy down. You can start in the heart space and just take your energy down to that Earth Star Chakra. And just ground all of your energy into there. Creator is commanded to clear the belief, I must overcome something in order to achieve. I must overcome in order to be successful. Creator, clear this belief on all belief levels. Pull, cancel, clear, delete, and resolve on all belief levels. Creator, show me. Anywhere you've had any feeling, emotion, or traumatic event that comes from this belief, anytime you've ever lived this way, felt this way, or believed this way in any lifetime or timeline across all time, across all dimensions of time, in between time, from all karmic boundaries, from all timelines, dimensions, and realities. Clear this from the DNA, from the collective, from the ancestry. Resolve all oaths, vows, and contracts to live this way or believe this way, and pull all curses to live this way or believe this way, or to recreate any curses or vows to live this way surrounding this belief or any experience with this belief from all lifetimes and timelines in the DNA. Creator is commanded to pull, cancel, clear, delete the belief program. I must struggle. And I want you to say this, Jen.
Okay.
I clear this belief on all levels.
Clear this belief on all levels.
I must struggle to be successful.
I must struggle to be successful.
Creator, show me that being pulled between all levels. Being coins wash.
Yeah. This is Tammy.
Creator is commanded to download the belief program and replace with the belief program. It is safe to experience ease and joy in creating my business. Say that.
It is safe to experience ease and joy in creating my business.
Okay, I want to talk about the money a little bit more because there's a lot more energy there. Do you feel a disconnect between being spiritual and being wealthy?
Yes.
Yes. Do you feel it's wrong?
It's not wrong. It's just hard.
Why is it hard?
It's not a real job. I don't know.
Ah, where does that come from? Who told you that?
Nobody told me that. That's what I grew up with. My parents had real jobs.
Okay.
They went to work every day, and they went in a car, and they drove, and then they came home, and they...
Okay. And do they frown, or did they frown on your career choice to do what you do?
Not really frown, just not really. My dad didn't really approve of it.
He didn't approve.
Not that he didn't approve, he doesn't believe.
Doesn't believe.
No.
Does that mean he doesn't support you?
No, he supports.
He supports. Is it important for you to have him believe as well as support you?
He doesn't have to believe, just support more.
Okay. So what I'm picking up in your energy is not that. I'm picking up in your energy that you do want him to believe. You do want him to believe a little, even if it's just a little bit. And so that's okay. That's okay that you're holding that on your core belief level. Because it's a need of acknowledgement that what you're doing is valid, that it is a way to make money, to support you and your loved ones, and to live a life where you are in your joy. And if you have this disconnect in your energy where your dad doesn't understand that doing this work is you living in your joy, there's a separation there in your energy. I can feel that on you. Okay? So we're going to clear that. And to clear the belief program. I want my father to believe and support me. It is important for my father to support me. Down this listen to Johnson. Energy now. Thank you. Greater change. Creator is commanded to clear, cancel, pull, delete, and resolve on all belief levels. It is important that my father believe and support me. No. Creator, show me. And the reason I said Creator is important that my father believe and support me no is because when we are dealing with the subconscious, it doesn't understand can't, it doesn't understand won't or don't. So you have to put things in the affirmative and then just put no at the end of it if it's meant to be something that's not in the affirmative so that we can clear it. And now we're going to replace the belief program. Creator is commanded to replace with the belief program, and you can say this after me, Jen.
Okay.
It is safe and right and perfect for me. Go ahead and say
it is safe and right and perfect for me
to create my business with my vision.
To create my business with my vision.
And to draw the people to me that support and believe in me.
To draw the people to support and believe in me.
Creator, replace this belief program now. And so what this belief program, replacing it with this, is that trigger, if you want to call it that, anywhere you would feel that it's a disconnect when you don't have that approval from those people that you would like to have the approval from, it won't trigger you as much because you are creating this energetic void by releasing that now, that you're calling in now more of your tribe of support, of people that do understand you, that do believe in you. And that's going to bolster your energy and your confidence a little bit more, and release what just doesn't need to serve you. Your dad not necessarily believing in what you do or fully supporting it or whatever is incidental. That's his free will choice to feel that way. We can't change that, and nor would we want to, because we don't mess with any of that. But we can release the energy where it's attached to you, and then call in and replace a belief program that, hey, it doesn't matter. I'm calling in all the people that I need to support me. I'm calling in my tribe. And that can be something that you will work on your own too. When I walk you through how to do this belief clearing and upgrading process that I'm doing with you guys right now, I'm going to show you everything that I'm doing so that you can do this for yourselves, because believe me, this is something you want to do every day. And it's nothing I spend more than 5 minutes on every morning, but I start my day with creating this template basically for everything I want to create in my day, by just setting my energy right, releasing what needs to go, and upgrading or replacing the belief program with what I want to bring in. And that's what we're doing here today. But there is a little more there about the money, and especially about this is not a real job. Because that is a big one, and that's a huge block for especially when we feel like we are in the flow and things are easy in our business. That's when we come in with that self-sabotage, and we put in a block. We put in literally something that we have to hurdle over, to overcome, in order to say, hey, I succeeded. You know, my parents struggled. Everyone that I know have had jobs where they come home, they're tired at the end of the day, they struggled, they suffered a little bit. I have to as well. So we pull in this belief, and we create this belief that what we do, if we experience joy and happiness with it, that somehow it just can't be that easy. Mm-hmm. And that's a completely self-imposed belief. No one else is making us believe that except us. And that's the hardest thing to clear sometimes. Mm-hmm. Because we're like, how do I even get to the core of this? But we're going to clear that at its core, because it is absolutely easy to do the work that we do with a lot of joy and a lot of love and ease and grace. And it's not hard. Nowhere did anyone say ever healing is hard. Living the lives that we want to live that gives us joy is hard. That is something we completely self-impose. So I want you to just close your eyes and take your energy down. I'm sorry, were you going to say something about that?
I was just going to ask you, had you seen the movie Beatrice at Dinner?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said I just wanted to ask you, had you seen the movie Beatrice at Dinner?
No.
It's about a healer. That's the reason why I asked.
No. But I would love it if you would send me the title, so I'll remember to watch it. But I would love to watch that.
It's very interesting. That was one thing.
Is it a documentary?
No. It's a movie. It was in the theater. About a month ago.
I honestly haven't paid attention to anything that's going on in movies. I have to rely on my clients to tell me what's going on in the world sometimes. All right, Jen, I want you to connect to this star again and just go down into that energy.
So this is how actual fluffy fun feels like when you look at that. Ready?
I'm just going to mute you for a second, so I'm not distracted, because I'm hearing some background noise. Creator is committed to clear, pull, cancel, delete the belief program. My job is not a real job. My job is a real job, no. Clear, pull, cancel, delete, and resolve on all belief levels. Creator, show me this and being cleansed in God's light now. Creator, change it. Thank you. Creator is commanded to download the belief program and replace the belief program. It is safe and right for me to be a healer, and you can go ahead and say that, Jen.
Safe and right.
And Tammy, if you feel that too, you go ahead and say that. Go ahead and say that, because I'm working with both of your energy. I have you guys, the way I do the healing is you guys are in a bubble.
Okay.
So If something gets downloaded for one, it gets downloaded for the collective. So we're all experiencing a healing today, okay?
Yay!
Yeah. Creator is commanded to replace with the belief program. My job is real. I perform a valuable service.
Do you want me to say that?
You can say it to yourself. You can say it out loud. However you want to do it. It doesn't matter. The energy is going where it needs to go. Replace with the belief program. I am a greater vessel of love and light as I release these limiting beliefs.
I am a greater vessel of love and light as I release.
It is safe for me to step into my power. Create a replace on all belief levels. Being a healer puts me in my joy, and it is easy.
In my joy, and it is easy.
I am unconditionally loved and supported by God, Source Creator, as a healer in all ways, financial and otherwise. It is safe for me to step into greater levels of my power and truth.
It is safe for me.
And there's something deeper at work for you here, Jen. I'm going to be quiet for a second. I'm just going to do a body scan here because you're holding some shadow that I just want to check out. Is that okay? Do I have your permission to do that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, you have some unresolved grief as a healer. You took on some the grief of others when you were doing healing.
Okay.
It wasn't really yours, but you took it and made it yours. So I'm going to clear that on the genetic and the history level, and I'm just going to go ahead and clear it on all levels. There's a lot of shadow in your heart, and it's like just in that area where it's at the top of the heart center, just before it reaches the high heart. And a lot of healers hold shadow here. And it keeps us from accessing greater spiritual awareness and divine love connection that we feel in the high heart, which is a very profound connection to spiritual and divine awareness. So I'm just going to clear that. Grief, sorrow, despair, depression. Take it on from Martin's words with contracts. Clear any agreements to reproduce this healing. This need to heal. This area, clear on all levels, greater shame, Creator is commanded to replace with belief program. And Jen, you can say this out loud or just in your mind. It is safe for me to know true love and divine connection in the high heart. I release the need to hold grief, despair, sorrow that is of another origin and not my own.
Sorrow that is another origin.
Creator is commanded to replace with the belief program. My heart is open and ready to give and receive love in all forms.
Open and ready to give and receive love.
Okay, Jen, there's a little bit of deeper self-love clearing here, and I'm just, with your permission, I'm going to go ahead and clear
Yep.
that. Commanded to cancel, clear, create, and resolve on all belief levels. Jen's belief program. I am safe to love myself, to love what I do, to love who I am. No. Creator, show me this being pulled, cancel, clear, deleted, and resolved on all belief levels. Creator, show me thank you. Creator is commanded to replace with the belief program. It is safe for me to love myself, to love what I do, to love who I am, to love who I be. I know that's not grammatically correct, but it hits you in your subconscious in the way that it's supposed to. To love what I create. It is safe in all ways, across all timelines, through the karma, and I release anywhere I need to recreate this limitation. Creator, change it. Thank you. Okay, Jen, there's a little more clearing that you'll want to do on that about where. Hold on 1 second. There's a little bit of self-punishing going on.
You need 5 hours with me, not 2.
So, but you know, it's not as big as you think it is. That's the thing that I'm getting, is it's actually not as big as you think it is. But it's just been allowed to be in your awareness for so long that it has become this colossus. So it feels like this monolithic energy, but it's not. It's just that it's been so long in your energy, and it's been allowed to inform your perspective on everything else in your life. And so again, this is why getting to that foundational belief, you know, you get rid of that and everything else topples around that. You're not feeding that perspective any longer. So there is this self-punishing that you're doing, and it's something that's in the collective. And I'm seeing it in your ancestral karma. So it's something that's been allowed into your karmic boundary through your ancestry somewhere in your lineage, and it's been allowed to kind of feed you on the genetic level too, because it's part of your DNA programming. That it's just, this is what we do, this is part of our family, we just self-punish. But it's not obviously in alignment with what you are, with who you are, with what you be, with what you are creating, any of that. So I'm going to clear a little bit of that, but you and I might just do a session together too, just like a one-off session where we do some deeper work on this, because we can really get to the nitty-gritty. Because today we've got a half hour left, and I want to do the other soul alignments today. So if you want to do that, it's not an extra charge. It would just be like another 45 minutes together, just you and me. Okay. I'm gonna clear that on what I can right now. Okay. So do I have your permission to do that?
Yep.
To pull, cancel, clear, and resolve on all belief levels. I must self-punish and then overcome to succeed. All right, and I want you to say this out loud or to yourself, it doesn't matter. Whew, I must self-punish in order to overcome and then succeed. Creator is commanded to pull, cancel, clear that belief program on all levels, that you resolve on all levels. Creator, show me that being cleansed and sent to God's light. Thank you. Ooh, okay. That just broke. I set that up to the light to be cleansed. It was like when I used to live in Hawaii and I'd walk out to the lava flow and I would see the lava flowing above ground and it would hit the waves of the ocean and then the lava would cool instantly. That's how I just saw that belief just blowing up. So let's go ahead and replace that belief program right away. Creator is commanded to replace with the belief program on all levels. It is safe for me to succeed without self-punishment. It is safe for me to pull my identity back from someone who self-punishes.
It's safe for me to pull my identity back from someone who self-punishes.
It is safe with me to experience my joy in my life without hurdles. Self-sabotage is no longer necessary in my life or business.
Self-sabotage is no longer necessary.
All right, that's a good start. That's a good start for today. But I would like to do that with you, Jen, a little bit further. And yes, ladies, too, do drink some water. This is a good time. I am going to walk you through really quickly this process so that you can do this on your own, because we'll be meeting a week from today. And so in that time, the things that are, because we did clear some foundational beliefs, but that doesn't exhaust them. We still have some other foundational beliefs. And your key, your roadmap to clearing other things is the things that triggered you on that list of intention statements.
Okay.
And so you can do this clearing on your own, and I'm going to teach you really quickly my method of doing this. So being in a place where you are either connected to your heart chakra or going down into the earth and connecting to the earth star chakra so that you're grounded in your physical body and into earth energy, because we are 3D beings. Even though we're doing work on a fifth dimensional level here, it's important to ground this energy into our physical bodies so that we can have the experience of it while we're living these lives now. So you can do that, or you can go up to the 7th plane. And because I've connected you once to the 7th plane and you have that definition, you know what it means to be connected to the 7th plane, all you have to do to reconnect is take the tip of your tongue, put it on the roof of your mouth. So you can see my eyes, I'll take off my glasses. And then just say either aloud or to yourself, Creator, it is commanded that I be taken to the 7th plane now. You have the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and just take your eyes upward and go about 300 feet up. When you take your energy about 300 feet up, automatically you'll just be taken up to the 7th plane. And it happens in an instant. And you just have to trust that it happens. Because sometimes we think, am I really there? Is this really happening? You just have to trust it. Okay? And
Can you repeat what you said after Creator?
Creator, it is commanded.
It is? Okay.
Commanded that I be taken to the 7th plane now.
Okay.
Or just say, Creator, take me to the 7th plane. And then just kind of roll your eyes upward, take your attention up about 300 feet. And it's like we hit an express elevator. We hit a dimensional awareness there that we just got automatically, just like our energy goes right up to the 7th plane. Okay. I like working from the 7th plane because, as I mentioned at the outset, this is the place of little resistance. We're not putting up any ego resistance. So this work that we're doing takes place without any blocks or hindrances. Okay.
Yes.
But wherever, yeah, amen, right? So wherever you feel most comfortable, if you want to ground into your earth star chakra, if you just want to put your attention in your heart space, or going up to the 7th plane. It's a matter of personal preference. It's all the same to me. I like working from the 7th plane. I do all my work there, and that's a realm of 100% pure light, no exceptions. So that always jives with me. And so once you're up there, what you can do, once you have like a list of these things that you think are blocks for you, these, hold on, I'm gonna close my door because the husband's home. Oh, thanks, honey. So from the list of intention statements, you can figure out, okay, this might be a block for me. State it in the affirmative, and that's what you'll clear, okay? Don't use the words don't or can't or won't, because we are literally petitioning and speaking right to the subconscious. The subconscious doesn't understand don't or won't. It understands whatever you're saying. Saying, you know, a belief like, I don't want to be poor. All the subconscious hears is poor. And it's like, oh, okay, poor. You want to be poor? Great. Here's some more poor, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you want to say something like,
I am wealthy.
Yeah, I am wealthy. State something that's in the affirmative. Or I resonate with wealth and abundance. Anything that is the opposite of that, but state it in the affirmative always, okay? And if you do want to say something like, you know, you want to clear the belief, I am poor, you can just say, I am poor, no. Creator, it is commanded to clear this belief, okay? Mm-hmm. And because you want to work on the 4 levels, because you may only be holding a certain belief that you want to clear on maybe 1 or 2 levels, it doesn't matter if you go ahead and clear them on all 4 levels. I am all for the clearinghouse way of doing energy healing. Let's just get it all, right? And it's also a preemptive strike, because if you don't clear it on all those 4 levels, you could invite those energies in at some point. So it's like a preemptive strike. It's a clearing on all levels so that you actually clear any seeds of energy that could develop that into becoming a belief at some point. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I want you to just kind of go along with this vision for me for a second. So when we clear on the core belief level, okay, you might write this down. The core belief is the beliefs that we grew up with, okay? Instilled by our parents, our peers, our friends, school, teachers, all that stuff that's here on this timeline of us growing up in this 3D awareness. When you imagine this being, when you ask Creator to clear, pull, cancel, and resolve on all levels, that's the petition you make when you clear.
Say that again.
Pull, cancel, clear, delete, and resolve on all levels. The belief program, and then whatever it is you want to clear, stated in the affirmative. And it's important for us when we do this clearing work, this is the most important part, that we witness the clearing taking place. So what I was doing with you guys when I'm clearing is I'm seeing it go from those 4 places where we hold that energy on the core, the genetic, the history level, and the soul level, in all those 4 places. And I'm going to walk you through where I see them. And you ask, Creator, show me this being cleansed in God's light. And what that means is these are literally being pulled from your energy and sent up to the realm of all that is and being washed clean in that light. Essentially like dissolving it, okay? But on the history level, we want to resolve, and that's why using that word resolve in there is really important, because when we resolve something on the history level, we keep the lesson. So our soul has learned the lesson, so we don't need to recreate it. That's what happens when we resolve it. If we pull it and cancel it on the history level, we don't learn the lesson, and we could potentially recreate it. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
So when you're working on the belief level, and say you just want to do clearing on the history level of belief, make sure you use the word resolve when you're working on that level, because it allows you to keep the lesson so that you've learned it, you don't have to recreate it, but it pulls the energetic attachment of any lower and negative energies from it, okay? It releases you from the karma of it, essentially, okay? Super important. So the core belief level, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Say that one more time.
So the core belief level, you're pulling it from the brow. And you can just see it literally being pulled up. I see it as like almost like a plume of smoke. I see it as like a plume of gray smoke and literally being pulled up into that dimension. And then I see it from the pineal gland, so right in the middle of the head, because the pineal gland is right behind the ocular cavity in the head. So you can see it right in the middle of the head being pulled up.
Okay.
The genetic level is right behind the head and the shoulders, right back here. That's where we hold, or did I say genetic? No, the history level. The genetic is here, the pineal gland. The history level is behind the head and shoulders. That's where we hold the karma, the ancestral karma beliefs, where we hold past lives, and beliefs that are held in the collective conscious. And then the last level is the soul level. And we see this being pulled from the heart. So literally from the heart center. And as I ask Creator to have them be pulled and cleared, I see them kind of all joining together like a plume of smoke, all joining together like you would almost see in a campfire. Mm-hmm. All coming together into one stream and then going up to the light and then just bursting apart.
Okay.
It's really important to witness the clearing. Okay. That is the key to dissolving it.
Will you witness it every time?
Yes, every time. Every belief you want to pull and clear. The more you do this, the quicker it is. I can pull, at this point in my practice, about 5 to 10 different beliefs every morning. And it can just be stuff about my day. It doesn't even have to be like really deep stuff, but I just might have this belief about how my day is going to go. I want to pull and clear that and resolve it, right? Because there's something in my programming that says, yeah, that's not in alignment with me. Yeah, that needs to go. And then you always want to replace it. Because anytime we do a healing like this, we create an energetic void, okay? So you don't want to just have anything willy-nilly just come in there. You want to actively replace it. And if you don't know what you want to actively replace it with, ask Creator to replace it with the belief program that's aligned with your highest and best good, okay? Creator always knows, Source Creation always knows what to replace it with. That's for our highest and best good. And so just practice that with the other intention statements that that came up for you, that were triggers for you at the beginning of our talk here today, okay? And feel free, if anything comes up or you need more clarification or you're like, I've got this weird energy because we cleared some stuff, so now this is a trigger for me, it's coming up all the time. If you have questions about that, that's okay, because anytime we do this kind of energy healing, and we're calling forth the things that we do want to create, we also call up all the resistance to it, okay? So that just means that the universe is giving you this gift. It's giving you this gift of the opportunity to clear that other stuff that's there. That means that in this next week, before we meet again, there's going to be some really obvious stuff that's like, oh shit, that's a trigger, that's got to go, okay? It's going to be like the blinders are off, okay? That's how this works. And it's literally the universe giving you this gift of saying, okay, you asked to be clear of this stuff. Well, here's your other stuff. Time to go, right? But, you are a being with free will. You get to decide what you want to clear and what you don't. But I highly recommend taking the blinders off for this next week and look for those things that are coming up. You might hear things in conversation that keep coming up. And it might just trigger you to think about something in your past, something that there's maybe some shock or trauma still attached to that.
Oh boy.
Clear it. I know. But you know what? Like I said before, it's like 10 minutes of pain and hurt and discomfort or a lifetime just repeating the same shit over and over again. We just don't have time for that anymore. No. So it's a little bit of pain, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but then it can go. Then you can just release yourself from that energy and call in. Now you've made room, right? To call in what it is that you do want. Yeah. So, and if you have any questions about this at all, feel free to email me, private message me, reach out to me, whatever you need to do with any kind of questions you have, okay? So we're going to do a couple Sacred Soul alignments here before we finish out. It'll probably be about 20 minutes. Is that okay?
Yes.
Are we down with that? Okay. So we're already connected to the 7th plane, but because we've been doing some work here on a conscious level, we can do the little exercise that I shared with you where you just put your the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and you can either silently, out loud, what doesn't matter, ask to be connected to the 7th plane. Okay. So the first one I'm going to run is the cleanse and protect. And as I mentioned before, this is a profound clearing. This cleanses your energy, even though we've done some cleansing and some healing here today. This cleanses on a much, much deeper level, but it also puts a very, very forceful field of protection around you. But what I love about this protection around you is it still allows 100% pure light to come in. Sometimes, you know, when we've done energetic healings before, or people have put up, you know, protection around us before, it's impenetrable, so nothing can come in. But this actually still allows 100% pure light to come in, but it keeps everything out. And because this is such a very wordy script, as you are going to find out in a second, it covers a lot of territory. So all you have to do is just kind of plug into your heart space here, just be present as I read through the script, and just kind of breathe easily and open your heart space so that you can just receive. Creator, send beings of 100% pure light to Tammy and Jen and their family, including all pets, their home, all items in their home, in their yard, and vehicles, and gather all waywards, aliens, alien implants, entities from all mentioned, and send them to God's light to be washed clean and made pure and new in God's light. Pull all beliefs, oaths, vows, curses, and any alien implants or devices from Tammy and Jen and every individual in their family, including the pets, the home, the land, the vehicles used by the whole family, and all items in the yard, the home, the vehicles, and anything that attracts waywards, aliens, entities to all mentioned, using the following intention statements. I release the need to battle evil and hand it over to God. I am impervious to evil. I am always protected and always safe. I now lovingly release all of my loved ones, allowing them to go and be washed clean and made new and pure in God's Source Creator's light. I release the need for the drama that waywards, aliens, entities, implants bring to my life. I am completely secure without waywards, entities, aliens in my energy field, body, and life. I release them all and choose instead to call in and have my spirit guides that are in my highest and best good into my life. Download Creator's definition of unconditional love and make ours the same as Creator's. Creator, change it. Thank you. Download what it feels like to love every aspect of our being unconditionally and to love others unconditionally. It is commanded to download Creator's definition of what it feels like to accept unconditional love from ourselves, from God, from the universe, and others. It is commanded that you download these beautiful intention statements as feelings, to know what this feels like, to know how to know that we are deserving to and worthy to. Creator is commanded to download God's Source Creator's definition of being safe, protected, and impervious to all evil, to know what that feels like, to know how to, and that all women here have permission to and are deserving and worthy to. Pull all oaths, vows, and contracts to recreate any agreements to allow entities, alien beings, or implants or negative energies to enter the energy field of Jen, of Catherine, or of Tammy, or affect their life in any way. Creator, download the vibration of love and light to every level of our bodies and every atom and molecule of our land, homes, vehicles, and all items and beings in our homes that are our loved ones. Teach all these things with all these words on every level of the body, every cell in the body, and every area of our lives. Creator, change it. Thank you. Pull all shock and trauma from the land that Jen or Tammy inhabit, the home and workplace that they're on. Creator, build and put in place impenetrable shields around their homes and each member of their family, pets, yard, land, and vehicles, making sure all portals, gates, vortexes to other dimensions are moved at the entrance to the Pleiades. That will keep out all waywards, aliens, entities, and place a vacuum at the top of all shields that will suck up any wayward, alien, entity, negative implants, or devices. to God's source creator's light, where they are immediately washed clean, made pure, or dissolved as appropriate in God's light, keeping our home and all our family, pets, land, and vehicles clean, protected, safe at all times from any wayward alien entities and all negative implants or devices and any negative energies. Creator, change it. Thank you. Put in place a filter at the crown chakra to keep their energy field and body extra clean and extra protected from all forms of negative energy. Include a chain link field infused with quartz crystal for all healers. Allow the shield to be flexible, allowing all 5-dimensional and above vibrations, energies, knowledge, and all source energies in that are of 100% pure love and light, allowing them to integrate them with ease and grace in a way that is highest and best for each individual. Creator, change it. Thank you. Creator is commanded to do all of this using the sacred amulet. Creator, change it. Thank you. Automatically update the shield as necessary for each individual to keep out and block all negative energies and beings, including bacteria and viruses, and blocking all negative beings from being able to watch or monitor them in any way. Creator is commanded to download this fully in the sacred cleanse and protect with the sacred amulet. Creator, change it. Thank you. And just allow this energy to flow for just a moment. Okay, and we're going to layer these sacred soul alignments. Anywhere we've believed things that are not in our highest and best good are areas where we have given away our power, and we have not been able to fully activate our own power or step into our power. So the next sacred soul alignment is the giving away your power disconnect. Creator of all that is, it is commanded to activate the giving away your power disconnect and power activation now. Creator, change it. Thank you. And so this is a healing and an activation that allows the energy of where you have given away your power in any lifetime, current or previous, or any timeline or dimension you've given away your power, to any beliefs that have not been aligned with your highest and best good. Anywhere you have ever blamed anyone or been resentful of anyone who has made you feel as if they had to make you give away your power, any situation where you felt you had to give away your power. And this also activates your power for you to be able to step into it fully without fear of repercussion, for you to speak your truth. That is how we also activate our power, by speaking our truth without fear of repercussion or recourse for speaking our truth. This brings us in alignment also with being able to pull our soul fragments back where we've given away our power before. This automatically brings our soul fragments back to us, creating a sense of wholeness. And in that sense, it's truly a power activation. Just allowing this energy to run as we continue to bring in the anger and resentment, sacred soul alignment. This is a profound disconnect and release anywhere we have, again, given away our power to anger or resentment. Creator is commanded to download sacred soul alignment, anger and resentment release. Creator, change it. Thank you. And this sacred soul alignment may bring up certain energies around where we still may feel angry, where we're holding anger in our body. We hold anger in our liver. And so it's important to flush toxins out. So lots and lots of water. If you have any green drinks, that's a great way to purify and cleanse the liver and cleanse the body of toxins and to flush. And there may be triggers that come up of resentment or reminders in your energy where you've had feelings of resentment that are still part of your energy and where you're giving away your power to. This will become clearer to you so that you can completely release it. And a profound way to clear this energy is with the forgiveness prayer or the forgiveness mantra. And it's very simple. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. So anywhere you notice this trigger of anger or resentment or even blame, you can release the energy instantly by saying the forgiveness prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. And we're going to bring in one very empowering sacred soul alignment to finish up here, and it's the love yourself fully sacred soul alignment. Creator of all that is, it is commanded to activate the sacred soul alignment. Love yourself fully now. Thank you. This brings in the energy of unconditional love and acceptance. Anywhere we have felt I've had to give away our power and not love ourselves fully before. And that could mean through having emotions like anger or resentment. When we are giving away any of our energy to those emotions, we are not loving ourselves fully. And this is pulling back our power from anywhere we have given away our energy to low vibration emotions in the past, in the present. And all of these sacred soul alignments clear energies that are in your present timeline, any past timelines, and going 7 generations backward and forwards in time. So you are, by receiving this, clearing the energy in your ancestral karma and in your DNA and in your cellular programming, 7 generations backward in time. But also receiving this healing in the now, in the present, where we experience all level of creation. You are clearing it from the karma that will come in future timelines, and clearing it from the DNA that will be in any future timelines or dimensions. This opens up the energy in the high heart, that area just below the throat chakra and just below the throat chakra and just above the heart center is the area of the high heart. And this is where we experience a more profound, sacred, divine connection with Source. And this is where we bring in the knowledge that we are loved and supported by Source at all times, and we are never disconnected from that love and support. And this is where we experience a greater connection to not only compassion for ourselves, but for others, forgiveness of ourselves and any perceived past or present wrongs, but also forgiveness of others. This brings in feelings of greater trust and alignment with our highest and best path, with our spiritual mission. This is really a connection to the highest vibration possible. And I'm going to bring your energy back down so we can ground all this energy today into our physical bodies so it can integrate into every cell of our body and into every area of our lives. So just imagine gently pulling your energy back down from the 7th plane and pulling it down through the crown chakra. And pulling it down through the body, down through the heart space, back through the belly, down through the legs, out through the feet, out through the roots in the feet, and going all the way back down through the earth and reconnecting with the heart chakra of Mother Earth. And here you'll ask Gaia to cleanse or transmute any lingering negative energies that need to be released. Thank you, Gaia. And now bring this pristine energy back up, all the way back up through the earth, back through the feet, through the legs, back into the heart center, and all the way back to the top of the head. Allowing the energy of these healings and activations to integrate into every area of your life and into every cell of your being. And take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, push the energy deep down into your belly, about 3 inches below the navel and about 3 inches inward. And here you will ground the energy of this healing and activation fully into your physical body. And take another deep breath in. And pull this energy in. And on the exhale, push it down deep into the belly again and bring yourself fully back, all your energy back into your physical body. And when you're ready, take another deep breath in and open your eyes. Okay. I'm going to get a little sip of water. So feel free to, you're going to get a recording of this. Tammy, I don't think you were here for me to mention that, but I did record this for you. So I'm going to send you this recording so that, so that you can listen to this again. And you can also, by listening to this again, receive a deeper healing and a transmission of these energies. I do encourage you to, when you get the recording, fast forward to the end and listen to these sacred soul alignments again. Okay. You can't OD on these. Every time you listen to these sacred soul alignments, you do 2 things. You heal a greater level and you activate your energies and your spiritual foundation to a greater level. So every time you do this, you are healing and activating, moving to another threshold of awareness and healing and clearing, but also another threshold of your prosperity, your joy, your happiness. You are just feeling more aligned and more connected. That's why I love these sacred soul alignments. So we're going to leave it at that for today, because 2 hours is a long time to do this work. And we processed a lot. So even though it might not feel like a lot, what happens is everything we experience as a clearing happens in divine timing for us. I always leave room for spontaneous healing, instant healing. I've experienced that a lot of times doing this work, but also these energies continue to resonate throughout our being so that we receive the healing in a way that is meant for our highest and best good, and in a way that is safe and comfortable for us to experience it. That being said, over the next 48, 72 hours, you're going to probably notice things coming up into your awareness now. This is perfectly normal, because the universe knows how much you can handle. You know, as physical beings, we are kind of dense in our energy. And when we do a level of deep energy healing and clearing, the universe, your guides, creator, they all know how much you can handle at any given time. So it's like taking a time-release vitamin C capsule. Just kind of receive healing throughout the next 48 or 72 hours in a way that's aligned with your highest and best good, in a way that you can receive it comfortably. If there are things that are happening that don't feel very comfortable for you, ask your guides, ask your archangels, ask your guardian angels to turn down the volume of what you're experiencing. You can do this. As a powerful creator, we have control of our experience at any given time. Okay, so if something feels uncomfortable, or it's an energy is coming in a way where it just doesn't feel good, and maybe you've got tension, headaches, or things happening in your awareness that you just don't like, ask the volume to be turned down on it so you can receive this healing in a more comfortable way. What else? I would reactivate the forgiveness mantra for things that come up, any kind of triggers, anything like that. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. Seems very simple, seems very trite. It's actually extremely powerful. It's very, very potent, especially when you notice these energies kind of welling up with you, or you're triggered by someone around you or a situation around you. Go ahead and say that forgiveness mantra. It's very healing and instantly clearing. And do practice on your own with the belief clearing method that I showed you. It doesn't seem like much. And I've done these workshops before where I have people saying, it just seems so easy. I'm like, well, you know what? We put these beliefs there. We can take them away, And it seems kind of easy for us to just kind of have these beliefs. It's also kind of easy for us to clear it. And again, it's the belief about how hard should it be to be clear? How hard should it be to feel good? That's another belief you might want to clear if you feel like it's too easy. This work is too easy. No, it's not. It's actually really powerful, and it does resonate over time. And the more you do this on your own, the easier it becomes. And the more aware you are of those beliefs that you're holding that are keeping you in a limited program. The more you do this work, the more apparent that is. So that's a bonus to doing this, because we're just not having the blinders on anymore. Any questions, ladies, before I sign off today? Before we sign off? I know it's a lot to take in, but like I said, I make myself available to you. So email me. Do you both have my email? contact@catherineMassell.com. Pretty easy. But I will be sending you the recording of this after it downloads, probably sometime tonight. I will send you the Cleanse and Protect script so that you have a copy of that. Okay. I think there was one other thing that I wanted to send you, but I can't remember what it was. And I think that's it. But yeah, any questions, anything at all, any clarification that you need, please feel free to reach out to me, okay? Anything at all. And Jen, I would like to maybe set aside a little time with you to do some more deep belief clearing, because there's some stuff there that we need a little more digging.
How much time you got?
It's not as big as you think it is, I swear.
Oh, okay.
It's not as big as you think it is. Nope.
Okay.
All right, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine.
I will be sending you that email shortly, and then is 3 o'clock, well, it's 3 o'clock Pacific time for me, but 6 p.m. for where you ladies are, is that going to work for next Tuesday?
No, I'm with you.
No?
I'm with you.
Okay. I love it. And if, if something changes, just reach out to me and we'll find a different time. We'll try to make it work for everybody, okay?
I'm good. I set my schedule around it.
Awesome. Okay, ladies. So much love and light. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye, Jen.